Welcome to the Business of Beautiful Spaces, a podcast that's specifically for interior designers and decorators. This is the podcast for designers and decorators who love creating beautiful spaces, but also know that building a profitable business, it what makes it all sustainable. Hi, I'm Laura Thornton, and after nearly 30 years in the interior design industry and building a 7-figure design firm, I know firsthand how lonely it can feel running your own business. Making big decisions without a boardroom, without a business partner, or another executive team member to walk things through. That's exactly why this podcast exists. Think of me as your interior design bestie, the place you come for honest conversations, real action items, and a clear to-do list that you can apply today to move the needle forward and improve your bottom line. And if you can't get the answers you're looking for here, one-on-one mentorship with me is always available because no designer and decorator should have to figure this out alone. My goal with every episode is simple: to help you build a more profitable, confident design business and propel you into sustainable, successful future. So let's dive in. Hi, welcome back to our episode of the Business of Beautiful Spaces. I'm Laura Thornton, your host, and today we are going to start talking about profit leaks. Have you ever thought, I worked all week and I don't know what I got paid for? This episode is for you if you're nodding your head and agreeing, because here's what I'm seeing over and over again in our industry and with the mentorship hours that I offer for other designers. Designers aren't under earning because they aren't talented. Of course they're talented and they're very hardworking. They're under earning because they're doing a ton of invisible labor and calling it being helpful or I'm being nice, or I just want to keep the project moving along and I'll make up for it somewhere else hours. We've all had them. We've all done it. And I want to say this clearly right up front. Charging is not being greedy. Charging is being sustainable and will help you stay in business. So today I'm going to walk you through 12 things that are probably in your business world that you're doing for free that you should be charging for. And as you listen, I want you to have one goal: to identify the top 2 or 3 profit leaks in your business right now and plug them, because working for free is training our clients to devalue what we do. And it trains them that your time is flexible and that your process is optional and that maybe you're not too busy, that you can keep handling more and more, and that your expertise is unlimited. And this is the fast track to burnout and overall resentment. So let's start with the first one, which is extra meetings beyond what is included. If your package includes, say, 2 concept meetings, 1 presentation meeting, and suddenly you're on meeting number 7 because the client just wants to walk through it, that should not be for free. That is billable time. Meetings are labor. They require prep. They require follow-up. They require emotional energy. Typically, you had to drive there. There's driving time. There's wear and tear on your car. And they blow up your schedule. So you need a simple, calm policy that you can lay out for your client that says that here's what's going to be normally happening in your process. For example, I'm just going to reference mine so that it makes a little more sense. In our contract, at the very beginning, when we sign our clients, it says very clearly how many would be included. Let's say yours is weekly. Maybe it's at certain points in the project. And I have that written out. And then it simply states if there's any other meeting times that are requested, that will be done at X per hour, whatever your hourly rate is as your design fee. And that will be billed to the client on the 1st of every month, or whatever your structure is. So this way they can actually see ahead of time that if they're going to start requesting additional meetings and things for you to do, then this is something that you can bill back for, and they're aware. So when someone will email me and ask, I'll say, absolutely, I can do that. I'll be sure to I'll log the time, the driving time, the whatever amount of time it takes, and I'll be sure to send you that invoice. So they are already aware when you're replying and say, yes, I can do that, that is going to cost them money. So this way you're not having to go through those motions. It can be a preset template that you already have in your systems. And then that way the client is already aware that it falls out of your scope, but I am happy to do it. And I will send that order over to you on X day. So when you say it that way, you're not shutting them down. You're simply showing them that this is how your process works. And then next is the additional concept directions after approval. So Sorry, I might have run into that one a little quickly. So I hope that first one makes sense. I think it's really easy if you are being asked and requested that you simply say, yes, no problem. I'll make sure that I send you the invoice for that time that'll take me. You'll get that on the first Friday of the month or whatever the setup is for you. Okay, so additional concept direction after approval. You present the direction, the client approves, you start moving forward, and then they say, actually, I think we want a different vibe, or we don't love the sofa. This is not a revision. This is a new concept. This is a scope change. This is where a lot of designers can start losing hours because you feel like you want to keep the project moving and you want to be nice and they've been so good. But really, at the end of the day, this is now where you have to step in and protect your time. Same thing. One simple line could be, once a concept direction is approved, additional directions are considered new concept development and are billed separately. So this can be in your contract. This could be at the end of your presentation. This can be in multiple areas where the client will see it. So it is not a surprise when you say, okay, that's fine, but that's going to take me 2 weeks because that's what our schedule is running right now, which is going to put our project back at minimum 2 weeks because we haven't approved anything yet. And this will be an additional charge of X, Y, and Z. And that can be something that is easily said at that. And most times out of 10, they're going to say, never mind, forget it. We shouldn't have thought about it. We're fine with what's happening. And then it can keep the project moving forward. So again, remind yourself that your pricing supports the level of service that you want, and this is how you're going to maintain that standard. Okay, here's the key. This needs to be clear. It needs to be a clear line in your contract, in your scope of work. You can write it out exactly what you are going to include, what's going to happen when the client wants more. For example, you might say, one revision round is included in your design fee. Additional revisions are going to be billed at an hourly rate of, and this is where you're going to insert your hourly rate. And this will force your clients to be very specific and to think very clearly about what they actually want changed. And you'll notice something very magical happens. You start getting more accurate feedback, fewer emotional pivots, and your projects will stay on timeline because most clients do not want to spend more money than they need to. But if this is not clearly written out and they don't know that there's an end in sight, I used to find that what used to happen before is they really didn't spend the proper amount of time dissecting this. And then I'd be in this endless revision wheel of where I couldn't get the project to move forward. As soon as I implemented one revision, it has never happened again. Once, I think I had to bill somebody for an extra hour for a piece of art that they ended up going back to the very first one. Just wanted to see what else was out there. But otherwise, years of one revision. Keep the project on track. Forces the client to be very specific and very thoughtful about what they're asking from you. The next one is that just one more revision spiral I just talked about. This is one of the sneakiest profit leaks because it sounds harmless. Can we just tweak the layout? Can we just swap that fabric? Can we adjust the scale? But revisions expand, and we all know that nothing is actually only one thing affected. It usually spirals and affects something else. So if you are not setting that limit, you're basically promised unlimited creative labor for a fixed fee. That's not service. That's a subscription to your brain and your design work. So I would define the container that this package includes 2 rounds of revisions or additional rounds are billed at X amount. And if they ask you for more, you don't have to get tense. You can simply say, absolutely, we're happy to keep refining. Just a reminder that any additions are billed at blank amount. You be calm, you be clear, and you can be professional. That's not pushing back. It's just making them aware of what they signed. Sometimes they forget. Sometimes they're pushing boundaries to see what you're going to do for free for them. Number 4, the rush timelines and last minute pivots. We've all had them. And if a client wants something fast, that's going to cost you more, that's going to cost you in your schedule, that's going to cause you a stress level, your vendor relationships, and sometimes even the quality of your work because you're trying to sprint and you're trying to rush and you're doing it for free where you should have charged a fee. So you can keep it simple. We can accommodate a rush timeline for an additional rush fee. Or you can say timeline changes impact scheduling and coordination. So we treat that as a scope adjustment. That one line will change how seriously clients take those timelines and also give you a professional way to say yes without sacrificing your sanity and getting paid and compensated properly. Number 5, the vendor research beyond scope. This shows up as, can you research 5 more rugs for me? Can you source a dupe for this chair? Because I find this one expensive. Can you find the perfect piece under X amount of dollars? Research is work. and it's expertise and time. It's also decision fatigue because the more options you provide, the harder it becomes for the client to choose. And the one thing I've said for years and years, my job is actually not to find you the cheapest item that looks the same. My job is to get you a quality item for the price point that you have given me. And I do that in multiple other ways, that if I go and buy that one dupe and it's cheaper, but they charge me delivery fees, and now that delivery fee is $300, but it's a less quality product and it hasn't been tried and tested and certified by any of our team over and over again, we're opening ourselves up to a deficiency. And now it's actually $300 more because now it's not being shipped with multiple other items and it's going to cost you more. And now it's actually not that far off from the original price. So there's all these other little elements that our clients don't see. So we have to decide what is included and to say it clearly. We will present X amount of options per category. At Thornton Design, we don't offer options. We present our best option first, and they get one revision. And that has made our lives very easy. And for our clients who appreciate less options. And then you have set that expectation, and your clients stop treating you like a personal shopper with unlimited hours. That your recommendations land with more authority because you're not giving them an endless buffet. It doesn't make you look professional. It makes it look like you couldn't decide. Or that if 5 things fit, do they need us if they can pick 5 things that actually look good in this room? So one is stronger and it means more, and let them do a revision. Number 6, if a showroom trip and shopping days are included and offered as part of your premium service, great. But it has to be priced as part of the service, not treating it as free entertainment and wandering around. It needs to be condensed into a certain amount of time, amount of hours that you're giving. And showroom days should include your travel time, your scheduling, your coordination, and the follow-up. These also require a mental bandwidth because you can do this for longer than your client. So by setting them up for too many hours or too many showroom visits can set it up to fail. So you might have a policy like one showroom day is included, additional shopping days are billed at, and you can have an amount, a flat rate for your day, or a showroom time is billed hourly. And I love this framing as it's high touch, but it also is able to provide that experience. And we can plan and schedule that showroom days very intentionally. You can also pre-shop it and only take them to do the ones that you've selected. So you know where they are in the store. You can do that a couple of days before. You can go and do that. And then you know exactly where to go. They're not being derailed by looking at pretty things. And I call it squirrel, like squirrel. And then they look left and I like this one. And you haven't even got to show them the fixture that you picked because they fell in love with something on the way. So number 7 is site visits outside your agreed cadence. So if you have included 2 site visits in the phase and suddenly you're popping in every week because the builder is calling you, and now you're going to do a project management that you did not price. So you have to decide your structure. If site visits are occurred at these certain milestones, additional site visits are billed at X, Y, and Z, or you can decide, but you have to protect your time. You have to protect your schedule. And yes, you even need to protect the wear and tear on your vehicle that you didn't allot for, or the gas that you didn't allot for. Put it in the scope of work how many site visits are included, and whether that's weekly, bi-weekly, milestones, whatever it may be, make it very clear. And if you're asked to come outside of that, then you need to bill at your hourly rate. This is one policy that can save you hundreds of dollars and hours, or thousands of dollars and hours over a year. So number 8, managing trades that you didn't hire and are not on your preferred vendor list. This is one that'll drain you because if you didn't hire them, you can't control them. And if the client is looking to you when something goes wrong, you either have to have a clear boundary or you have to have a paid service. So the boundary sounds like, we are so happy to collaborate with your hired team, but we did not manage these trades. We do not have a contract with them. So then this is something that would need to be out of our scope, and it will have an additional fee. And what you cannot do is let this live in the gray area. Oh, sorry, I had to pause that. I needed to sneeze. That's never happened to me before. So apologies. This is in a gray area. So because the gray area is where profit goes to die, clarity is kindness and clarity is profitability. Number 9 is install days that run long and plus have super duper return trips if you're also doing a photo day. Install day is not just a day, it's decision-making, troubleshooting, finishing, problem solving, and often emotional management too. So don't just include this in whatever you've upcharged in your amount. You should be charging for the actual install day. It's taking you away from work. It is taking you away from other things that could be getting done in your office, and it actually is billable hours. So if you have to come back and if you're dealing with missing items and a punch list, all that time needs to be accounted for. Some designers build install management into their packages with very clear limits, and others will charge that day rate. Others are billed hourly, and any of those can work. What doesn't work is absorbing it and thinking that it just should be covered in the fees that you've already charged, or because they bought furniture from you, you should automatically be there to install them. And then at this point, you're not going to want to do install days because you're not getting paid for it. It's lost time. So installs are where a lot of designers quietly are losing money because they treat it as the final fun part and forget that it is actually the highest intensity labor of the entire project, literally sweat labor. Number 10, the budget rework when a client changes their mind. And if a client sets the budget and you build the plan and then halfway through they decided that they want to lower it or that we want to relocate and change priorities, that requires a redesign. That is not a revision. That is a redesign. A revision is we're revising what we've already designed. This is a whole new workover. Then that needs to also be not done for free. We need language like budget changes after approvals require a rescope or additional design time, or keep it simple and consistent with the boundary script. Happy to do that. Falls outside of our included scope, I'll send over a change order with what the additional fees will be for your approval. And there's also a very practical way to protect yourself here. We add a disclaimer on our presentations and our quotes, something like pricing is only valid for 30 days. And if the client has signed off and then comes back or didn't send the fees in time and we're outside of those 30 days, then now we have to go back and reprice to make sure that we're not going to be on the hook for or eat any of that money. And typically this is 2 to 3 hours. So we call it a reset fee. And this is something we charge back to our clients. Number 11 is email volume after hour responses. This is a big leak and it can affect your personal life. And if you're answering emails at 9 p.m. and you're getting 47 messages the next day, and we're training a client that we are going to answer them and that access to us is unlimited, this unlimited access should come with a very luxury-driven expense price. You need to communicate very clear policies, whether that's in your welcome guide or your working with us guide. And it should say we respond within 2 business days if that's your policy. We communicate through one primary channel. I only communicate via email. I don't accept text. I won't use WhatsApp. It's very hard to manage all of the communication. So we do everything via telephone and or email. And if it was a phone call, it is summarized after. So everybody has what was said in their notes. But if you don't have those limits, then it's a free for all of what is going to be accepted. And it's not rude to have these limits. It's leadership. Also, quick reminder, if you became the emotional support line for this stressed out client or family, that will also eat your day alive. Good communication systems will protect that client experience and it will protect your brain. So number 12, handling the claims, the deficiencies, the damages, the back orders without admin or procurement fees. If you're ordering product and you're managing logistics, logistics are a real job. Claims take time. Back orders take time. Damages take time. Reorders take time. Coordination takes time. You need to be making sure that you're billing for the procurement time and allotting in that procurement time for deficiencies. And if you don't charge for procurement or admin fees, you're donating more labor. You chose a structure that fits your business, and the procurement fee and admin percentage or a flat fee per order or whatever combination you choose to use, clients assume that items are just showing up and they don't see the hours behind those scenes where you are running it, organizing it, admin, all the things. We all know what it takes to make this happen. But if you recognize yourself in a bunch of these, I want you to feel relief, not shame. Most designers were never taught how to protect their time and price the process. But I want you to bring back to the core of this, or the truth of it, that free work is training our clients to devalue you, and charging is not being greedy. Charging is being sustainable. You are not charging for a pillow. You are charging for the leadership required to deliver that entire experience. You are charging for the experience that prevents expensive mistakes. You are charging for the process that makes the project feel smooth, supported, elevated, and fantastic for our clients. Here's the challenge I want for you after this episode. Choose one of these 12. Implement one policy this week. Just one. Maybe it's revision limits. Maybe it's meetings. Maybe it's communication hours. Maybe it's a change order. Just plug one leak. And then next month, do another. And let's see how you can build a studio that feels calm, professional, and profitable. Before you go, a free way to support our show is by going over to wherever you're listening to this, Apple, Spotify, and leave us a 5-star rating. We would love you for doing that. It definitely helps more designers find us, and it's a great way to support this podcast. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you connected, and I hope to see you back here next week. Bye for now. Let's face it, running your own interior design business can feel overwhelming. But guess what? You don't have to do it alone. I am so excited to introduce a brand new way to get the support you need. One-on-one mentorship with me, Laura Thornton, your interior design bestie. In just one focused hour, we'll dive into whatever you need most, whether that's pricing strategies, client management, presentations, attracting clients, building up a repeat business, or just getting out of the hamster wheel. You'll get clarity, strategy, and expert advice based on my 28 years of running a thriving business and over the last decade, a seven-figure design firm. This is your chance to get real answers to the questions you've been dying to ask from someone who's actually been there and is currently still walking the walk. Book your session as you need it. There are no strings attached. You'll walk away with personalized, actionable advice that you can implement right away. One-on-one, 1-hour sessions as you need it. Head to the website or click the link in the show notes to book your mentorship session, and let's build a beautiful, profitable business that you've been dreaming of together.